This is Ignite. How many people, is this your first time in Ignite? Let me see some hands. Yeah, first time in Ignite. Gian, Mayela, first time in Ignite? Okay, cool. Feel free to unmute at any point in time. This is a participation class. Oh, the other thing. So you'll have, if you want to get credit for this class, it's first name, last name. That's got to be real. And then you have to have your camera on. And we like to see participation too. If you don't have your camera on, I'm going to assume that you have an emergency and you're just not able to participate today. That's fine. So, Ignite, let me tell you about Ignite. It's 20 modules. We're going to go over what that really means, but we've got 20 classes to get through. We do 2 a day, Wednesdays and Thursdays. So on Wednesdays and Thursdays, you're going to get 2 classes from 1 to 3 p.m. On holidays, we're going to send out an email to you that's got classes and homework for you to watch on your own and do the homework, right? This is for you. Honestly, this is to help you understand the best practices and give you some direction with your business. This Ignite, I wanted to do a little bit differently. That's why it's Zoom only, because I wanted to be able to show you guys things that I use in my business and the tools that I use for the last 8 years to have a successful real estate business. And why did they let me teach, or why do they make me a coach, or anything that they let me do around here? I've been in the business since 2014. I've capped every year that I've been in the business. And what that means is that I've paid all my commission that I owe to the brokerage, and I start earning 100%. I usually sell around 5 million in real estate a year, 5 to 7 million. It just kind of depends on the year. And now in my business, I've been in it for 8 years now. Now I'm strictly referral based. So I don't prospect for business. That means I sit and do other things with my life, and I don't have to go out and prospect for business. And people just call me and say, hey, I want you to list my home, or I want you to help me buy. And it comes in at such a steady pace that I don't really worry about it. I know every year that I'm probably going to make about 6 figures in real estate based off of the work that I put in. Where do you think that came from? You can unmute now. That's not a rhetorical question. Where do you think that kind of referral business came from?
Your sphere.
Okay, some of my sphere, yeah. Where else?
Your current clients.
Current, okay, yeah. Current clients, yeah. My current clients come from my past clients a little bit, but yes.
Lead generating.
Okay, lead generating. But I just said I don't lead generate. So where did this business pop up from? Where did this business pop up from?
So like your previous clients refer you?
Yeah.
Tell me it.
It's all the hard work that I put in the first 3 years of my business.
That tracks.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going to get into this business and you're going to be grinding year after year after year after year, right? And the reason I say this is because sometimes we take these classes and they're like, you got to do all this work. And it's a lot of work that makes us uncomfortable, right? It's a lot of work that takes us outside of ourselves. And it's like, oh God, this is my life now. It's not. For a short period of time, it is. But if you do the things that I'm telling you to do in the next classes that I give you, if you do what I tell you to do, in 5 years, you won't have to do those things. Your business will start to give you what's called a return on investment. Now, I started getting referrals within the 2nd year of my business. Like where people called me and said, hey, I want your help with real estate. That came from me training my database. So when I first got into this business, the first thing I did is I started reaching out to everybody I know, and I started training them on how I wanted them to treat me. And I wanted them to treat me like a real estate professional that deserves their business. So I started showing up that way and telling them that I was that. Was I that? The first year in the business, was I the real estate expert? No, I was not. I was exactly where you are right now. I had no formal education on real estate, except for I had my real estate license, and I was licensed and lethal. But I didn't let that stop me. So I will say that you guys probably have a little bit of fear of reaching out and talking to people. They know even less than you do about real estate because they don't even have their real estate license. You already know more. Now, over the course of the next 20 modules, you will become the expert in real estate. We're going to talk about that. What do you need to do to make sure that you can get business in the next 30 days? Because I want you guys to be into a contract in the next 30 days. Would everybody else like that? Yeah, I think we would all like that. Do you guys know what the average commission is?
You said 11,000?
Like about
Who
2%
wants,
or yeah.
yeah, who wants to make $11,000 in the next month? Okay, it's 100% possible. You just have to implement what we talk about in these classes, okay? So that's a little bit about my background, why they put me here, and why I am qualified enough to tell you to do the things. And the things I'm going to tell you to do, I did them myself. Okay, I think we're ready to move forward. So let's get started. But before we get started, does anybody have any outstanding questions where they're just like, I have to know this. This is something I have to learn today. Anybody got anything for me?
I guess for me, this is the first, this is Spark 1. This is
Yeah.
the very start. Okay.
Yep, this is the very beginning. So I think
Okay.
you came in kind of in the middle previously, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and the previous Ignite, I'm trying to get everybody that's done Ignite to come to this one because it wasn't this intimate of where I'm going to show you what I do. I'm going to show you the tools that I use. Surprisingly enough, the tools that I've been using for the last 8 years, they all exist in the Ignite toolkit. So every single person that's in this group has received an email that says, welcome to Main Street Coaching. And the Ignite toolkit is in that email. It's a little link in there. Everything I'm going to show you in this class is in there. And I used that in my business. Okay. So just to clear that up. All right. Any other questions before I get started? Okay, cool. And you can unmute and interrupt me any point in time. Happy to do that. Okay, let's go for it. So who here has heard of a big why? Have you guys been hearing that a lot? Yeah, yes, no?
It's basically like your main reason why you keep doing everything.
Yeah. Yeah, why are you here? So that's a real question that I'm going to ask all of you, and I would love for you to unmute and participate. Why are you in real estate?
I'll go first.
Okay.
My back hurts. So I can't use my drill or hammer anymore. But I've always been intrigued by real estate and my long-term goals that I have with my wife coincide with this type of career, and it would only help us get us there faster.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so I don't want to do that job anymore. I need to make money in other ways, right? And it ties in with your goals that with your wife. Oh, I love that. That's a big why. That means there's somebody else that's relying on you to be successful in this business. All right, who's next? Why did you get into real estate?
Because my family doesn't really have much, and I want to do more that working a normal job would let me be able to do.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Family, you want to do more than what you've been shown before, right? Has anybody read Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Is he look, he's grabbing it right now. He's like, I'm reading it. He's reading it right now. Okay, I love it.
I was muted, but it's a different book by him. But yeah, I have that one. It's not on me now.
Yeah. Whenever someone says their family, isn't in this or doesn't have much and they want to get out, it always reminds me of that book. So if you haven't read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, go out and read it. It's fantastic. But I was raised with a poor dad, and I had to real estate helped me retrain my brain to learn how to build wealth, and it's been a beautiful journey. Okay, who's next? Why are you here? Why are you in real estate?
I'll go next. For me, it's just like having the freedom, the unlimited income. It's really up to me how much money I want to make. I've worked, for the state, for the government, child support. Retail, like I feel like I've tried like the traditional, and I have 3 kids, so I feel like now this is a good opportunity for me to be more flexible. You know how everybody kind of like pivot for COVID, so that was kind of like me, where I
love
really enjoyed having all that time with my kids, and I was like, you know what, there's other ways to generate income and have like the freedom and still stability.
Absolutely. So freedom, make my own way, make my own schedule. Be there. I love it. I love it. Who's next? Who wants to share why they're in real estate?
Oh,
Rylan, you're unmuted. Did you want to share? Or do you want to be muted?
oh, I'm sorry. Am I not? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can all hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm driving to the office right now. Yeah, my why is just I just kind of just want to do my own thing and like create my own business. It's always what I wanted to do. It's just I that's just really what I really want to do, and that's what I'm striving for to be great at. So
I love it. All right, start your own business. I love that. Anybody else on here want to share? Why are you here? All right, well, I'll go. I'm here because I'm unemployable. There is no way that I can have a boss. And it was very apparent all of the years that I was working because I hated it. I'm like, no, I can do this on my own. And that's really what sparked me looking for a business. It wasn't altruistic. It wasn't like I want to help people. It was, I need to start a business because I don't like having a boss. I wanted freedom. I wanted freedom, not just in the terms of like, I could make my own schedule. I wanted freedom to make my own decisions. I wanted the freedom to work as hard as I wanted to work and to not work as hard as I wanted to work. I just wanted that freedom of like, it's up to me. It's completely up to me. And then I wanted to make as much money as possible. That was next. I wanted to make as much money as possible. And what better way to make money than to sell one of the most expensive things that you can buy other than, a Ferrari. And so when you're thinking about your why, and why is it important to think about your why? You have to have some kind of driving force. Do we agree? Have you ever gone after a goal that you don't care about? Has anybody ever gone after a goal they don't care about? We all have, right? Because we have all had jobs. We have all had a boss or a team or something that we've been a part of, and there's a goal, and we're just like, okay, cool. If we hit it, we hit it. But the reason that you felt that way is because there was no personal why behind that goal, right? What were you? It's always a what's in it for me. What's in it for me? What am I going to get out of it? And so if you are attempting to start this real estate business, or maybe relaunch your real estate business, or just get into the business, or maybe just get licensed, the why is going to be so very important. And it feels very frou-frou, and it feels very out there, like it's not tangible, right? It's not something that we can hold in our hand. So we kind of forget about that part. But the why you're here is going to be the driving force that's either going to pull you towards your goals, or it's going to push you towards your goals. And the most successful, and I'm not talking about they sell 1 million homes. Success is determined by the person that's attempting the success, right? So success is very, very personal. I want you guys to understand that when we talk about success in this business, we do not necessarily mean that you make $1 million a year. Okay. It's just that the people that have found success, the people that renew their license, the people that continue to make money in this business, whether it be 50,000 a year or $1 million a year, they have a why behind everything that they're doing in this business. Every deal that they have tied that to a bigger reasoning. And that's why when it gets difficult or when it feels uncomfortable, they push forward anyways, because that why behind them is just so strong that they're like, I'm willing to do anything. And I think that's an important factor to take into consideration. When it comes to your goals in this business or anything that you do in life, are you willing to do anything it takes in order to hit that goal? If you're not, some would argue that it's not really that important to you. So I want you to think about your real estate business and think about this goal of yours. Is this something that you will do whatever it takes to succeed? Think about that. And then think about why. Why am I willing to do whatever it takes to succeed in this business? To be honest, for me, I didn't see another choice out there. I was rocking on a GED and some bad life choices. There was no college. I wasn't going to go to college. There wasn't a lot of other opportunities where I was going to be able to make 6 figures out there in the world without any kind of background or experience or anything like that. And if I wanted to own a business, if I wanted to just have a business, it was going to cost me at the very least, tens of thousands of dollars in startup costs to get into this business, to get into whatever business. I mean, real estate, less than $2,000, you're up and running, ready to go. So for me, my why was big enough that I couldn't go back. I had to push forward. And the opportunity was big enough to where it was pulling at me. Where I'm like, I think this is viable. This is something that I could do. You're all here with me now. And you have the same. This is the viable option for you to reach your goals. So understanding your why, write it down somewhere. I have pictures of my why in my office, and I'm supposed to show you guys what I do, but if you come into my office, if you ever come into my office, if you go into my coaching office in Natomas, there's a big board up there and it's got pictures of everybody I care about. It's got pictures of me and my team. It's got pictures of me and my kids. It's got pictures of me and my friends, my family. That's what I care about. That's what I'm moving forward for, right? In my office right now, I have 2 picture frames. I have picture frames everywhere, but I have 2 big circles in my office and they've got a ton of pictures of my kids tied to it. And when I step foot in this office and it's time for me to do the dirty work, which is calling strangers and asking them if they want to buy and sell real estate or if they want to, do anything with me whatsoever. The moment that I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. I'm going to go get coffee, or I'm going to go do this instead, or I'm going to go do something else. I have to look over and I have to look at my kids right there. And I'm like, but I made these promises. I made these promises to myself that I was going to do better. And it reminds me, stay on task, man. Stay on task. Do that uncomfortable. Make that uncomfortable call. Call that person you haven't talked to since high school and ask them how they're doing, So whatever you got to do, put that why in front of you. Write it on a blank piece of paper. I don't care. But put it in front of you wherever you're going to be working and tap into that as much as you can. So we're going to talk a lot about what successful agents do every day in real estate. And we're going to talk to you about your database. Your database is your data bank. That's what they're going to say. Your database is your data bank. The amount of people that you have in your database will directly account for the amount of deals you're going to have every year. It's a simple math problem. We're going to go over that problem with you guys, and we're going to make sure that we set you up for success with that. But there's only 4 things that successful agents do every day to grow their business. They lead generate for buyers and sellers. They make presentations to buyers and sellers, AKA they have appointments with a buyer and a seller. and they preview real estate. These 4 things will help you grow as a real estate agent and as an expert in the market. We're going to give you the tools that you need to help you feel more comfortable. So that way, when you're making these phone calls, you know what to say, you know what to talk about, and you're all given the system that you need to work in, Command. So we're going to talk to you about Command. And previewing real estate, you should all be part of the MLS. And I'll go through how do you go out and preview real estate, right? What does that look like? How do I figure that out? Once you have business, so right now you probably don't have any business, but maybe you do. Maybe you've got some clients that you're working with right now. So you're going to be doing things on the left hand or on the right hand side, like running your business, right? Once you've made the seller presentation and you get the listing, you've got to market that listing. And once you get the buyer that you're working with, you've got to show them houses. You've got to write the contracts, negotiate the contracts, manage the transaction, manage the vendors, the lender, all that. And then we talk about setting goals, and we talk about attending training and coaching. And we talk about managing our money. And of course, both sides of the line down the middle are important factors, but I will tell you this. In no world will running your business ever be more important than getting new business. In no world. So you have to understand that now. And the reason that we tell you that really, really early on before you even have business is because what's going to happen is you're going to work really hard getting business. You're going to call everybody you know. You're going to go out and do open houses. You're going to do all this business, and you're going to get a buyer, or you're going to get a seller, and you're going to hone in on them. And you're going to work so hard for them, and you're going to do the right thing. And you're going to forget about lead generating altogether. You're going to say, oh no, I have to answer this buyer email. I have to show them property today. I have to do all these things to help this buyer get into contract. The moment that buyer decides that they no longer want to buy a house, or they go out and buy a car and ruin their credit, or the seller decides this really isn't the market for them, or they just decide you're not the agent for them. That can happen too. Any one of those scenarios can happen on a regular basis. It still happens to me to this very day. Not every buyer that I talk to or take out to show property buys a home necessarily. So if you stop the lead generation to focus on this client that you have, when that client goes away, you got to start all over again. The most successful agents spend a portion of their day lead generating every day. Every day is an opportunity for them to get new business. And if a buyer calls and wants to show property, awesome. I can do it after this time frame that I'm going to be lead generating for new business. And we'll talk to you about that. Running your calendar, what is your schedule supposed to look like and all that. We'll go talk about that. But it's important to know, just remember, just because you have a buyer doesn't mean that you shouldn't be going out and looking for another buyer. That's how you create a steady stream of income. Did anybody hear from other people outside of this industry that real estate is really hard to make a steady paycheck?
Literally my whole family.
Yeah. Okay. So everyone, I'm going to say this. Almost everybody you know that has a job is going to assume that it's hard to make money in this business, in any business that's commission only. Right? Most people will say, oh, you're not going to make a steady paycheck. Oh, that's going to be so difficult on you. And it's going to be really hard for you to ever have steady money. It's always going to be this roller coaster. I will say this. Without great risk, there is no great reward. Commission only jobs, you make the most amount of money out of pretty much any position in the world. Salespeople make the most amount of money out of any position in the entire world. When you are commission only, your paycheck is unlimited. That comes without security. It comes with risk, but the reward is huge. And if you can manage your risk by doing what you need to do to mitigate the risk, you can have a steady paycheck in this business. In fact, I just went through a list of Keller Williams agents that make over $1 million a year. And there were 18 people per page, and there were 30 pages. I didn't even get through them all. 30 pages of people that make over $1 million in real estate. Let's do a little math problem, because honestly, I'm terrible at math. Obviously, I told you guys I have a GED. So let's go 30 times 18. That's 540 people. That's just what I saw yesterday that make $1 million. That doesn't even count the people that make 900, 800, 600, 500, 400, right? So is it hard to make money in this business? Does it sound like it's hard?
Sounds reasonable.
Sounds like there's a plan, right? It sounds like there's some kind of system that you need to be on in order to do it, right? Because there's a certain amount of people that are doing it. So just remember that the people that are telling you that it's hard to make money in this business, it's hard for them to make money in this business because they don't know what to do to make money in this business. But you're sitting in a classroom that's going to tell you exactly what you need to do to make money in this business. And if you lead generate every day on a regular basis and constantly look for new business, when your pipeline is full, you will make money on a regular basis. It's all about you. So I like to tell people that are getting into this business, my parents told me the same thing. They said when I got into real estate, they were like, you are a crazy person and we will be here when you fall. We'll be right here when you fall. And it sounds kind of harsh, but it was really caring because they're like, we're going to pick you up when you fail. Thank you to my parents. But it's really because they didn't know how to bet on themselves. They knew that if they got into this business, they wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't be able to handle it, right? They couldn't do it. It's a projection. It's not anything about you. It's about them on the inside. You have to decide right now, am I going to bet on myself? And am I going to throw all my chips on the table? I knew when I got into this business that I'm not a quitter and I'm not a failure. So I knew I was going to make money in this business. I want you guys to take on some of my confidence if you don't already have it in yourself. But know that you just have to do the right tasks every day to make money. There's no secret. There's no secret whatsoever. It's that you just have to talk to people every day about the potential of buying and selling a house. And if you do that on a regular basis, the deals will come. Now, like I said in the beginning, your database is a simple math problem of how many deals you can get. How many people do I need to talk to per day in order to get this many deals? We can solve that problem very easily. It's just a numbers game. But we can't solve the problem until you guys go out and do that work, right? Okay, I'm off my soapbox. All right, so we're going to talk about what is Spark. We're going to talk about starting with your sphere. What does that look like when people talk about starting with their sphere? Know the tools that you have at your at your disposal, and then prepare for success. So you're going to watch a little video from our CEO and leader, Gary Keller. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Gary Keller. This course will allow you to get off to a fast start you can build on. Because if you repeated the principles every 90 days for a year, believe me, you have an awesome first year. And just as important, you would have built the foundation and momentum for your entire career. It is practical, realistic, and easy to apply. It's about the fundamentals that determine your level of success in the business of real estate. From our research with top agents, we have found that they too started their careers with these fundamentals, and they continue to do them along with their teams to this very day. And it's not hard. It just requires a little focused effort, a few hours every day. Now, there is really just one way to achieve the goal. It's lead generation. Other skills are important, yet without leads to work with, your skills won't mean a thing. Dealing with business never takes precedence over what? Finding business. Never. Research shows that top producing agents make lead generation their #1 priority and the one thing they make sure they always get done. You can do this. And when you do, you will get the leads, the relationships, the experiences, the career, and the income that you want and deserve. Go get them, and good luck.
Thanks, Gare. All right, so a little bit about what Gary says in that video is right here on the screen. And it says, nothing else about your business will have as big as impact on it as the number of leads that you have. And this kind of ties back into the lead generation and why it's so important. The number of leads that you have, and leads mean you have someone's phone number and email and their name and you can contact them, that's a lead. The number of leads that you have will directly calculate to how much money you're going to make in this business. So I want to do a little exercise with everybody. I'll need you to get out your cell phone and I want you to go into your contacts. And if you have an iPhone, you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom. And if you have an Android, I don't know, I'm just kidding. If you have an Android, it's somewhere in there. It's either on the bottom or it's at the very top. Android's probably smarter than iPhone and they just put it at the top because they're nice. But it's going to give you a number. It's going to give you a number of how many contacts you have in your phone. And then we're going to do some math here. So shout out to me. Who's got, let's do some math here. Who wants to find out how much money they can make in the next year? All right, Mayela, what you got? How many people?
1,146.
1146. Okay. So it's been statistically proven that 6% of everybody that you know, 6% is going to have a real estate transaction in the next year. 6% of the, basically 6% of the population is going to buy and sell a house in the next year. And the only reason that they will use you is if they know that you are a real estate agent. So 1146 times 6% equals 68.76. So 69 people are in your database are going to buy a house in the next year. Average commission is $10,000. That's $690,000. Does that sound astronomical to anybody? It's okay to be honest, because it's a lot of money to me too. I don't make that kind of money. Does it sound impossible? I see head shaking, but does it sound impossible?
Not if you have the right systems in place and you're able to, reach out and do the work. I don't think. And if they're your friends, I mean, why wouldn't they go with you first before anyone else?
I love it. They will, but only if you tell them. Only if you tell them. Here's an example. I've been in this business for 8 years. I've known my brother my entire life. He is looking at property with another real estate agent. I have never once called him and said, hey, bro, I sell real estate and I'm the expert and I want to make sure you're taken care of. So when it's time, I want to be the one to have your business. Never. I've never done that. He's going out and buying a house with somebody else. That was a hard pill. It's my fault. 100% my fault. He's not required to use me, right? No one in Mayela's phone is required to use her. I don't care if it's her mom, her sister, her dad, brother, grandma, child. No one is required to do business with you. And you have to remember that. The only reason that they will do business with you is if you ask them. So at this point in time, Mayela could make up $690,000 in the next year if she simply follows the plan that we're going to tell you how to follow, right? All right, who else? Who else wants to know how much money they're going to make next year? That's a lot of contacts, Mayela.
I got 3 children and they do sports and all kinds of stuff.
Huge, yeah. All right, who's next?
I'll say mine.
Yeah, what's up? How many people you got?
I got 130.
130.
Mm.
That's good. 6 times 6%. That's 7.8 deals. times 10,000. That's $78,000. Would you be happy making $78,000 in the next year? You said kind of. Have you ever made $78,000 in a year?
Okay, look. Okay, no.
Coaches ask the real questions here. We got to get our mindset right. I would be happy to make another 78 grand this year. If I had an opportunity to make another 78 grand, let's just say this. I took that opportunity. I took a team leader position and I probably make, well, about 6 grand a month right now. It steps up, but I took that opportunity. Did I need it? I got a 6-figure real estate business. I got a 6-figure coaching business. Did I need to take that opportunity? Everybody wants to make another 78 grand a year. I don't care who you are. That's good money, right? That's good money. So now, what's he going to do though? What if he wants to make 150? What does he need to do in order to bump up his pay?
Get more contacts.
Get more people in his phone. The more people he puts into his phone and his database, and we'll show you the database, the more people that you put into your database, the more money you're going to make. So if I was Mayella, all I would do is focus on my phone. I wouldn't even worry about doing open houses. Why? I can call everybody in my phone over the next year and I'm going to make 600 grand. If I was Kylan, I'd be like, all right, I know I'm going to make 78. So I would definitely focus on that, but maybe I want to make more, right? Maybe I want to go out and do some open houses, meet some new people. Maybe I go out to a networking event. Maybe I go bowling. Like everybody's got to buy a house one day, right? So I'm doing this example because I want you to know it is a very simple math problem. And you already have at your disposal a huge database that's probably going to make you more than what you've made before. You can hit your goals right now with the people that you have in your phone. But the number one thing that you've got to remember is that the amount of leads that you have determines the amount of money you're going to make. Now, it doesn't just stop there, though. Unfortunately, we've got to actually engage with those leads. And so that's what we're going to show you. So here's an idea of how Ignite works. So Ignite is the class that you're taking. There's 2 portions. There's Spark. It's the whys and the hows of lead generation. So we're going to talk a lot about why do we lead generate? How do we lead generate? Why is it important? All these things. The goal is that after you take this class, you go out into the world and you lead generate every day. So we're going to talk about the habits that we need to have. And then your only homework is to go out into the world and implement those habits. If you do that within the first 2 weeks, you should have an appointment. You should easily have an appointment. The next 2 weeks, oh wait, maybe it's longer than that. It's 5 weeks. So 2.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks, you should have an appointment. The last 2.5 weeks, we're going to talk about servicing that person. How do I do a buyer consultation? All these kinds of things. And all along the way, you're going to take class and then you're going to implement the habits. Take class, implement the habits. Take class, implement the habits. By the time you get done with Ignite, I want you to be in a contract with somebody. That's the goal. Any questions about any of that? I think we have our objective, right? So let's talk about our phones and our sphere, because that's really what it is. Everybody that's in your phone is somebody that you've met at one point in time, or you've gotten their number and you've saved them in your phone at some point. For some reason, that's where we like to start. Why do we like to start there? Your sphere and the people that you've met in one way, shape, or form creates a trust triangle. Has anybody ever heard of the trust triangle?
Was that from the Ben Stiller movie?
Yes.
The circle
Oh
of
my
trust.
God.
Yeah.
I thought we were in the trust tree. The triangle of trust is like, I know you, and then whoever you know, I trust them. We all trust each other. That's the triangle of trust. So the first part starts. I love it. I love Nicole Davidson's on here. That's so great. Okay. Sorry, we got something in the chat that says after the class, time block on your calendar immediately to implement what you're going to do. I love it. Thank you, Nicole. So your sphere, the people in your phone, you've met them at some point in time. That creates this level of trust. 75% of people only meet with one agent. So that means that if you meet somebody and you're a real estate agent and they need help with real estate, there's a 75% chance that they're going to use you just because they met you. No other reason. You could be real bad, but most people just work with the first person they meet. If you've already met them, you have a level of trust. Building that level of trust with someone that you have not met, it takes time. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot more conversations than it does with somebody you've met. Has anyone experienced this before? Have you ever gone out looking for a service? And who do you go to first?
I do that with getting work done on my vehicle, and I typically just go, I just went and got my AC replaced, and I got that recommendation from an old boss of mine who I trust a lot.
That's the trust triangle. You trust him, and therefore whoever he refers you to, you're going to trust them too, because you trust that guy, right? And why do you trust your boss?
Because he held the ladder for me. He never let me fall.
He never lets you fall. Okay. So he has a reputation.
Yeah.
With you.
Yeah.
He built rapport and he has a reputation, right? We're going to learn in another class about what buyers and sellers value. And the number one is their reputation. So what's been your reputation so far in the world? How do you show up? Everybody that's in your phone, if I called them right now and I said, I know Mayella and I'm looking to give her a job right now. What do you guys think? What do you think about that? What would they say? She's like, they'd say, yay. Have you been trustworthy? Have you been somebody that people can look to? Have you been really good in your field previously to this? Those are all the ways that you've built trust with the people that are in your phone. If you didn't have that before, say that maybe the people in your phone might not trust you, then that's when we need to meet new people. You can rebuild that trust with them. You can rebuild that. I don't believe that there's anything that's impossible to fix. And if you can take on that attitude of like, there's nothing that I can't do to fix something, then you can rebuild whatever reputation you may have had. And I know this because I did it myself. Again, Amy didn't make the best choices when she was younger. I did not graduate high school. I got a GED. And I partied a lot, to be honest. I went to concerts. I was in like this little acting thing. Like I wasn't doing anything that was super, I did nothing financially. I had no financial background. I didn't do anything in finances. I didn't even own real estate when I got into the business. People didn't know me as somebody that was like, yes, listen to her for advice. But I worked to change that. And I did that by reaching out to my sphere, talking to them about my new real estate business, and coming from contribution, bringing value to them in any way that I could. And I changed that perception of me. Did it happen overnight? No. But it happened quickly enough with some people that they were willing to work with me in my first year. The only thing that I would say that was that I didn't have fear around it. And we touched on that in the beginning. Why didn't I have any fear? Why was I willing to do it?
There was no other way for you.
My why?
Your why.
I'm unemployable. I don't want, I have to do this. I have to succeed in this business because my why is so big that I have to do this. So calling somebody that used to know me in my party days, that, you know, might not think I'm the best choice for real estate, it didn't bother me to call them and make that call and try to change that reputation with them, because I had to succeed at this business no matter what. So who do you know in your phone that you're looking at it and you're like, I don't really know if I want to call that person. I don't really know if that person's going to want to answer to me. I encourage you, call them first. Call them first. And we're going to talk to you about a script. We're going to talk to you about a script, but this is the reason that it's important to call them. And it's very important for you to stay in touch with them after you call them. So there's a timeline of the likelihood of somebody making a move, right? So we already know that 6% of our database is going to be making a move in the next year. We already know that. The likelihood of them making a move over time, they're probably going to do it more than once. So even though 6% is going to do something in the next year, there's a new 6% that's going to do it in the next year, and the year after that, and the year after that. Also, 6% of everybody that they know is going to make a move the next year. Okay, so now we know that. Now, how often do you think people move? Statistically, it's every 5 to 7 years. So that also probably strikes a little bit of like, well, if I help someone move this year, then why stay in contact with them? They're not going to sell their home for another 5, 7 years. Who wants to be in this business for a long time? Yeah, if we're going to put this much effort into building a business and building a database, we want to be in the business for a long time. I'll tell you guys, 8 years has gone fast. It's gone a lot faster than I think it would when I was sitting in my first Ignite class making my phone calls, right? It went all very fast. And I'll tell you that the people that I sold a home to in the first year are repeat customers of mine. So the important thing is not just to make the phone call for the business right now. You're making the phone call to build a connection that could last a lifetime. And they could be repeat customers over and over and over. And the more repeat customers you get out of your database, again, we go back to a guaranteed paycheck, right? A steady income. It's because you're keeping in contact with them over the course of their lifetime. And we know they're going to buy every 5 to 7 years. So as long as you're the top of mind when time comes for them to make that purchase. Now they say that when somebody's ready to make a purchase, you've got about 10 weeks before they make that move to be within emotional proximity of them. If you are not in emotional proximity of them within that 10 weeks, whoever is, and it has a real estate license and can fog a mirror, is probably going to be the one that's going to get that deal. So that's why lead generation is an everyday thing. And that's also why we have a specific script that we like you to use. So that way it makes it very easy for you to lead generate. It makes it more of a connection builder versus do you want to buy and sell a property today, right? So the script is very simple. It's a conversation. It's just a conversation. In fact, to be perfectly honest, I didn't have a script when I first started. And I think that's what lended to a little bit of my success, is that I didn't have an agenda when I was calling. Now, we all know that we kind of have an agenda, right? Because we're attempting to build our database and we're attempting to build a business here. But in the moment, I didn't have an agenda. I just wanted to talk to people. And I didn't know it at the time because I don't think that this framework had even come out yet, but I was using a Ford script framework. I'm going to stop for just a second because we have a question. Mayela, what's your question?
I'm sorry, on the previous slide, you said how many weeks?
10 weeks. So people usually start to look for help with a purchase right about 10 weeks before they make that purchase.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And so then it's going to be really hard for us to time when somebody decides to make a purchase, right? Because we're not in their head. So as long as you're staying in contact with them on a regular basis over time throughout the entire year, you'll be there when that 10 weeks comes. You're just going to be there naturally. Okay, so back to our script. That was a really good question. Back to our script. Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. This is a way for you to connect with others. And I love this. Has anybody read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People? Yeah. Okay. If you have not, go do it. Go do it immediately. People love to talk about themselves. In fact, it's their number one favorite subject. And a lot of times when we are interacting with others, sometimes the conversation dies, or sometimes we don't know what to say, or sometimes we just talk too much that they're like blanked out. Have you ever had a conversation with someone and you can tell that they're waiting for you to stop talking so they can start? Right? Have you ever been that person? I know I have. What we want to do is avoid those things at all costs, because what we're trying to do is build a connection with this person. And you might already have an amazing connection. My dad, right? My mom, my brother, my sister, because you're going to make those phone calls too. Because remember, my brother that's out looking at properties with another agent. Yeah, you're calling your mom and you're going to say, hey, don't forget about me. I sell real estate, right? But have you ever asked your mom, how's your work going? How's your family doing? Hey, what do you have going on this weekend? You got any fun plans? What about in the next year? Do you have anything big coming up in the next year? I just went through 4 questions that fall right in line with this Ford method. Family, how is your family doing? How easy is that right now, especially with COVID? We just had 2 years of some craziness. I mean, it almost felt like 3. Lots of changes in people's lives. Some lost family, some gained family. We sell houses to families. We're in the family business, really, we are. So it's not strange for you to call and say, hey, it's been a long time since I talked. How you doing? How's your family? People love when you ask them about the people they care about the most. How are your kids doing, right? Occupation. What happened over the last 3 years? Have occupations changed? People work from home more than they work from the office. Some people are having to go back to the office. There's so much to talk about around people's occupations. Another big win that comes from this is when I ask people about their work. I mean, sometimes I don't even know what they do. And I say, hey, you know what? I never even thought about this, but what do you do for a living? What do you do for work? And they tell me, and they happen to be in a business that I might use. Or what if my clients could use it? This is the beauty. This is business to business. This is beauty right here. I love talking to people about what business they're in. And then I ask them, what would a good referral look like to you? Like if I talk to somebody I talk to a lot of people on the phone. If I talk to somebody later today and they need your services, what would be like, how would I know that I should refer them to you? And they'll tell you. Oh, they'll tell you. If I called you right now and said, hey, what business are you in? And you told me real estate. And I said, what's a good referral look like to you? What are you going to say? Are you going to be excited about that? You're going to be like, anybody that can fog a mirror, please God, send me, right? It's the same for everyone else. And you're going to find out that a lot of people in your phone own businesses. My other favorite was, hey, you know, COVID was huge for people starting home businesses. Did you get on that? Did you get on that train? Did you start any kind of hobbies that turned into a business? They could have something on the side that they didn't even think about. It's just ways for you to connect, right? Recreation. This is my favorite question. I use this to connect with everybody now, everywhere. What fun plans do you have this weekend? Or Thanksgiving's coming up. You guys, if you get off this class today and you reach out to 10 people today and you just say, how are you doing? Do you have any fun plans for Thanksgiving? You're going to have some really good conversations. You're going to build some good connections. You might even get invited to an extra dinner or two. And this is the way that we open up the conversation, because what are they probably going to ask you next?
What are your plans?
What are you doing? When we walk down a hallway and we pass a complete stranger and they say, hi, how you doing? What do we usually say? I'm good, how are you? I'm good, how are you? It's called the law of reciprocity. If you buy someone dinner, or a drink, drinks are notorious for this. Next one's on me. It's the law of reciprocity. We want to give back to those that give to us. It's just human nature. And so you can play on that. So when you reach out to your sphere today, you call Daryl in your phone. You didn't talk to Daryl since high school. Gosh, this is going to be weird. You're going to be like, hey, Daryl, I haven't talked to you since high school. It's been a long time. It's kind of weird. But how you doing? How's your family? They're going to be like, yeah, it is kind of weird. Family's doing okay. Well, that's good. What are you doing for work nowadays? Oh, I work over here. I do this. Well, what do you do? Right? You're going to get something at some point in time. They're going to ask you how you're doing. What do you do? What fun plans you have? What occupation do you do? That's going to be your opportunity. And what do you do? Don't all shout out at once. What do you do?
Open up to them.
Yeah. But what do you do when somebody says, hey, what do you do? What do you do for work?
Well, I actually don't have my license yet.
I know, not you, George.
But he knows Mayela, that's the best realtor, so refer him to me.
I love it.
I'll keep that in mind.
All right.
No, but I want to hear, what do you guys do for a living now?
Real estate.
You sell real estate, right? I'm going to give you a little tip. You're not newly licensed. When you say, I just got my real estate license, I'm so excited. You kind of sound like you're brand new. You might be using them as a guinea pig. A lot of people don't want to be a guinea pig with the biggest purchase that they're going to make in their entire life. So I highly recommend that you say, I'm so excited. I just opened my real estate business. I'm ready to help anybody that's looking to buy and sell real estate. So if you know anybody, let me know. By the way, what kind of fun plans do you have this weekend? Right? So I love the Ford script because not only does it get me able to connect with people, it's going to get some reciprocity back. Somebody's going to ask me how I'm doing, and I'm going to have the opportunity to talk about the fun thing I'm doing, which is real estate. And honestly, I don't care if they ask me about my family, my occupation, my recreation, or my dreams. All of it has to surround real estate. If they ask me about my family, I say, oh, my family's going crazy. I opened my real estate business. And they're like, now my kids are showing property with me. If they ask me about my occupation, that's easy. I just opened my real estate business. I'm very excited about it. If they ask me about recreation, I ain't got no time to do nothing fun. I am selling real estate right now. And you can take all of those and you can use all of them. It's a great way to get it in their mind that you're in real estate. Now, I like to come from care, concern, candor. I think it's really important that if you talk with somebody and they're like, yeah, I lost a lot of family and COVID's been really hard on me and I lost my job and all this terrible, maybe it's not the right time for you to sell your services to them. Maybe this is the time where you come from care and contribution and you ask them how you can support them, how you can help. I actually was making care calls right around COVID and people were losing their jobs. And now I'm calling other people and they have jobs. They're business owners. And I was able to make a connection. I actually helped a guy who had lost his construction job get with a contractor that I knew that needed help. And I made that connection. That's definitely coming from contribution. Do you think that person's going to remember you and want to help you out too? 100%. 100%. So what tools do you have at your disposal? You guys have Command. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen and I'm going to share this screen. And I'm going to show you Command. Has anybody gotten with, I can't see your faces, I don't like it. Show panel. Okay. Has anybody gotten with Vince? Okay, I see some hands. Okay, I'm seeing some good hands here. If you haven't gotten hooked up with Vince yet, that's your very next step. Oh, we got a lot of people in here. Look at all that. I love it. That is your very next step. You need to call Vince and be like, Vince, I need to get with you. Apparently, I need to be in this Command system. Okay, this is going to be your new home. I want you to live in here. Your phone and Command, hand in hand. There's an app on your phone for Command. You can download it. There's two apps. There's KW Home Search app, which is white with a red letter, KW. That's for your clients. That's so that you can send your clients that app and they can look at homes by themselves and use all that. Then there's a red box with a white KW, and that's your Command app. You can make phone calls, you can send text messages, you can manage a lot from that app. So download that, get familiar with it. Number one thing that you're going to want to do is to get your entire phone into Command. That's what Vince is going to help with. Vince is going to take your entire phone and you're going to put it right into Command. And then you're going to come in here and you're going to make sure that every person looks like Adrienne. Every person needs to look like Adrienne right here. So let me show you why. Okay. I have her phone number. That means that I can make phone calls to her. I have her email address. That means that I can send her important emails, market updates, anything I want to communicate through email. When I scroll down here, I've got her address. When I put her address into this system, it automatically creates this neighborhood. This is her neighborhood. I can add a smart plan called My Monthly Neighborhood Nurture. Vince is going to help make sure that this is all taken care of for you. This monthly neighborhood nurture sends her this website every month. Every month, she gets an email from me that says, look at everything that's going on in your neighborhood. It even gives her an access to me. So if she has any questions, she can reach out to me. Okay. She can add neighborhoods if she wants. Neighborhood stats. She can click on this. She can get neighborhood stats, average home price, average price per square foot, days on market, transit, commute, what's the schools, local eateries, and other properties that are nearby, other neighborhoods that are nearby. This is automatic. It's like a set it and forget it thing. As soon as you put their address in here and you have their email and you put them on this smart plan, every month in perpetuity, it's going to send them an automatic email that gives them an update on their neighborhood. Now, you're probably asking, well, what if they don't own the house? My favorite is to ask them where they want to live. If you could live anywhere, where would you want to live? If they don't currently own a property. And then I put that address into the system. Because I want them to see what's going on in the neighborhood where they want to live, right? Okay. So the next thing that I do is I add in their Facebook profile. Did you know that if you go to Facebook, everybody's got this little profile right here? I got to log in. I'm not logged in. Everyone has this little link right here. That's what you take, copy, and you add it right in. I'll show you. This little button right here, this little pencil is an edit, and this is how you add their information in. I think it's an additional contact information. Yep, there's her Facebook. You can add so many profiles if you want to go to Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. You want to have as much information as possible about the people that are in your database. I've got her birthday in here. There's another smart plan that will remind you to call them on their birthday every year. I'll tell you, the best way to connect with people is to remember them on their birthday. Absolutely. Everybody loves their birthday. Now, how many people post on your wall on your birthday? A lot, right? How many people call you? How many people reach out to you directly? It's huge. I reach out to my friends and my clients directly on their birthday. Great. I've got their home anniversary in here, and then I've got her husband in here as well. Now I want to show you why this is important. Okay. So Adrian bought a home, and then we'll take a break after this. Adrian bought a home through me 2 years ago. Okay. Before that, Adrian, this is how I got Adrian. When I was brand new in the business, I'm telling you, my very first day on the job, I sat down at my real estate desk in an office, and honestly, the people at the office were not that nice. And they said, "Why are you even here?" I remember thinking, what? This is weird. I wasn't with Keller Williams yet, so it was a little different. But I sit down at my desk, and a lender had come by, and they had left a flyer that said state workers get a discount on interest rates. That still applies to this very day, you guys. State workers, EMTs, teachers, doctors, they all have special financing. They get a discount on their interest rate. It's a services, it's a civil services discount. Okay. I called my friend who worked for the state, and I said, "What's up, dude? What are you doing?" She's like, "What do you think I'm doing? I'm at work." And I was like, "Well, that's cool. I quit my job." And she was like, "Why did you quit your job?" I said, "I opened my real estate business. I'm so excited. I opened it, and now I'm ready to help people buy and sell homes. What do you know anybody?" She said, "That's crazy. I just got pre-approved." This is one of my close friends. And I had posted that I was getting my real estate license. I had to make that phone call, right? So just take it from me. You got to make the phone call. You can't just post about it. Nobody's watching you like that. So I help her buy a house. Her twin sister gets jealous and buys a house. They both work for the state. They turned me on to Adrian. I said, "I want everybody in your office, please tell them that I'm here to help them buy a house." So I get Adrian, right? They refer Adrian to me, and I work with her. I help her buy this home. So Adrian buys a home through me. I put her into command, and I start giving her this neighborhood nurture. Now I'm going to show you this timeline. This is a timeline. This is everything that's ever happened in this contact. Okay. So here's her looking at homes. This is back when we were looking for properties. She's looking at all these homes, looking at all these homes. She bought a house in 2020. After she buys the house, I add her to the neighborhood nurture. I subscribed her to the neighborhood. I called her, see, we talked about her new home. She will invite me to housewarming, blah, 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 right? Okay, so October, there. Neighborhood nurture, I email it to her. She doesn't open them. She never opens them. 2021 never opens them. Never, ever opens them. Never opens them. Never. Ooh. Look at this. Interesting. She just opened it. Why do you think that's important for me to pay attention to?
Maybe she's looking to like upgrade or something.
It's been 2 years since she bought a home. That means that she doesn't have to pay capital gains tax if she sells her home. It's prime season for her to buy a new property. It's before the 5 to 7 years that we normally do. So was it important that I put her on this? If I had assumed that, she's not going to call me for 5 to 7 years, what would have happened then, right? Okay, so she opens it. I called her so quick. I was like, "Hey girl, how you doing?" Did I say, "Hey, you opened up?" No, no. I said, "Hey girl, how you doing? I just want to check on you and see how the house is coming." She's like, I'm so glad that you reached out, actually. I think this house is getting a little small. The kids are growing up, and I don't know. I'm thinking next year. This was in April. She's like, "I'm thinking 2022 or 2023. I said, "Okay, great." She calls me a month later and she tells me that her mom wants to buy a home. Now that never really pans out. Her mom doesn't buy a home, but she called me. Do you think that she would have called me had I never followed up? I don't know, right? I don't know. I can't say. All right, so April happens and we go back to her not opening anything. Ooh, look. So August, so we talked in April, May, June, July, August, boom. Now she's looking again. You think she's thinking about it again? You think it warrants a call? Yeah. So now she's looking heavily. It's time for me to call her and say, hey, what's up? How you doing? How's it going? Right? This is why I love this system. And this is why we're harping on you guys to put it in here. It does the work for me. Now I don't have to guess. If you had every single person in your database, phone number, email, and an address of either where they live currently or where they want to live, you would be able to see when they open things up, and you would be able to predict when they're going to want to buy a home, and you'll be able to be in emotional proximity when they start to make that decision to make their next move. And if they already know you and trust you because there's somebody that you've already met and there's somebody that you talk to on a regular, who do you think is going to be the person that's going to be able to help them when the time comes? And who are they thinking is the real estate expert when they're getting a monthly update every month on what's going on in the real estate market? This is the beauty of this, because you guys, I don't pay attention to what's going on in her real estate market. And there's no way that I want to take the time to do that every day. I got other things that I want to do. And I'm sure you have other clients, and we got to keep lead generating, right? We got all this stuff that we need to do. This system is going to help you immensely with that. So your goal is that you need to get with Vince and get your phone into this system. And then we're going to talk about how do we get all this information from people so that we can hone in and start using this system to build a business, right? Okay, I talked a lot and I want to give you guys a little bit of a break. Are we due for a break? Feeling like a little break? Okay. How do we think? We think like 10 minutes? You guys are in this with me. So what do you think? You think 10 minutes is enough?
Yes, that
10
works.
minutes. All right,
That
good.
works.
10 minutes. So it's 2:15 right now. I want you guys to come back at 2:25 and we're going to finish this thing out. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Amy.
Absolutely. 1 minute warning. Ooh, all right, everybody, bring it back in. Break is over. Break is over. It is 2:25. We are back and hitting it hard. I got some things to show you. Hopefully everyone's come back. You've stretched. Get your cameras back on. Yes, let's do this. Let's give full credit for the class, full names, full cameras. Let's do this. All right. So first, any ahas from the last session? Anything that you're like, not that anything I say is very, but
Talking about reaching out to people who know me already, and you sharing your experience that, you know, maybe your past life doesn't represent who you are now or where you're trying to go, and not being afraid to reach out to those people to let them know that you're on a different path, and that you can help them on their path. It's motivational.
yeah. How many people have changed their path? I'm reading this book right now called Personality is Not Permanent. If you guys have the opportunity to pick up this book, it is amazing. But it talks about how our personalities change. I mean, who I was 10 years ago is definitely not who I am today. Who I was 5 years ago is not who I am today. I think that resonates with everybody. Yeah, I love that aha. That's good. Thanks. Anybody else have any ahas they'd love to share? And aha is like, oh, that was cool. All right, well, let's get into it then. So I'm going to show you guys, if you are in coaching, if you're not in coaching and you haven't gotten this email, just shoot me an email that says, hey, I would like the Ignite Toolkit. But all of you should have, and if you haven't gotten this email and you are in coaching, red flag right now. You got to reach out to me. Let me know. Everybody should have received an email from me that says, welcome to Main Street Coaching. And in this email, there's a lot of links. There's links to the training calendar for whatever office you're a part of. There's links to the YouTube channel where we've put a ton of trainings for Keller Williams, Sacramento, and Fair Oaks. And I've put trainings on there that I've conducted as well. And I think that we also give you the Main Street Coaching YouTube channel, which also has some like random trainings that are on there. In this email, now remember you guys, now is the time to learn to read all of the email. In this email, lower in the email, there's an Ignite Toolkit. I'm going to show you guys what that is. Okay. Everyone can see my screen and you can see it's a Google Drive, right? Let me see your faces because you guys like to nod. Okay. Google Drive. All right. All of you are given a Keller Williams. You're all with Keller Williams. All of you are given a Keller Williams email. It's actually a Gmail. And it comes with G Suite. G Suite is amazing. I run my entire business off of G Suite. Tidbit. I also have another class that I teach, which teaches you how to run your entire business off of your phone. So if you don't have a laptop or don't have a computer and you're like, how am I going to do this? It's okay. This thing can do it for you. It's a computer. But when I got into the business, I had this laptop and I downloaded everything to the laptop and everything was downloaded and it was mine. And then that laptop died. And I lost everything. I lost all my files, everything. I decided from that moment on, I am a cloud-based business. I can come to your home and log into your computer and run my entire business. So I highly suggest that you consider that. as an opportunity for you. So you're given a Google Drive. I would get this folder and then save it as like, it will either be in your shared with me or it'll be, so you can star it, right? Make sure that it stays up front. Everything you need to run your business is in here. Okay. So we've got the Main Street Coaching preferred vendors list. If you have a vendor that you believe is amazing and you would like to add that to our preferred vendors list, please shoot me their contact information. I would love to add them. But this vendors list has lots of things on it already, and we're constantly adding to it. Mortgage brokers, mobile home mortgage brokers. I get a lot of text messages from people who are like, I need a mobile home lender. I got them. It's right here. Pest inspectors, plumbers, yard maintenance, house painters. We need I'll put some home cleaners on there. I need to do that. Garage door specialists. We need that. Electricians, home inspectors, contractors. I plugged my brother on there, of course. If you got a brother that's in construction and they have a business and they're reputable, I want to know about them, right? We need as many as we can. Septic cleaners, carpet cleaners. Lots of stuff on here, right? Mayela, you raised your hand. What's up, girl?
How did you get to my preferred vendors? Like I see everything else, like home buying, Ignite, toolkit training, but I didn't see.
Go back a little bit. Ignite just into the original folder. You just went ahead a little bit, but if you go back one, you'll be right there.
Okay, well, after you clicked Ignite, where did you click after?
It's just click on that, click here in the email, and it's the whole folder right here. You're probably inside the toolkit. Just hit the back.
Yeah. But I'm saying for like the vendors, for the list of vendors.
Oh, just click on it. Just double click on it.
Oh, that first one, okay, it's called Main Coach. Okay, I see it. All
yeah,
right,
sorry, I can fix the name, but anyways, that's a preferred vendor list. So you have a preferred vendor list. This is how you can graduate Ignite. All the classes for Ignite that you need to graduate. The Ignite toolkit is right here. So if you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, you will be given that. You should be given this. We'll go over it with you. This is everything that you receive from Main Street Coaching. This is a value. This is called a value proposition. This is everything that we provide. So if you have any questions about what am I supposed to get, what am I not supposed to get, this is here for you. This is a lead generation challenge. You can put yourself on this. This is a contest that I ran, and we will run a contest. Lead generation challenge is fantastic. Okay. There's training videos. A lot of you might have other things that come up in the course of this Ignite class, in course of life. And I want you to know that I've recorded all the Ignite classes. Oh, sorry. All the Ignite classes have been previously recorded, and these ones are great because they're guest teachers. So it's not just me yapping my gums. It's guest teachers here for you. Okay. These are all producing agents, top producing agents. So anything they say is. We've got group coaching videos. I've got some group coaching, how to perform an Avid, how to write an offer, open house strategies. And then I've got contracts classes. If you guys are out there and you need to write an offer and you have no idea where to start, contract classes right here in the Ignite toolkit. Ignite participant guides. If you're like, oh, I need a participant guide for the Ignite class I'm going to take, we have that here. Home buying seminars. Has anybody heard of home buying seminars as a way to lead generate for business? Yeah. Okay, so I put on a class for agents and I said, this is how you conduct a home buying seminar. If you double click in this, you can click on that link and it'll take you there. And then there's a home buying questionnaire, and there's also a home buying seminar. I got together with the in-house lender over at Sacramento, and we put on this class and we taught people how to do it. I have helped multiple agents turn this home buying seminar into a quarterly event that they throw for their database and everybody that they farm, and they now get business from this. So if you are interested in that, if events are your thing and you're thinking that you want to host something like that, if you love to teach, I think anybody can do it. I have an agent that hosted one of these at his apartment complex. So genius. He rented out the little suite that they have. He told everybody in the apartment complex, I'm hosting a home buying seminar. They're paying like $2,500 for an apartment. Why? Go buy a house. I thought it was genius. Anyways, so that's an opportunity for you to lead generate. In the Ignite Toolkit, if you guys are wondering about anything to do with real estate in your business, what you need to do, it's in here. It's helpful. So here is a top producing realtor's daily schedule. So remember I said lead generation is the most important factor in your business? This tells you you need to lead generate at the beginning of the day. If you get it out of the way, it's kind of like working out. Get it out of the way, and then you know you're set up for the rest of the day. I'm lead generating today. I lead generate. Everybody in the business lead generates. And if you don't get it done at the beginning of the day, it gets harder and harder, especially with the things that come up in your life. So if you're looking for a structure to your day that can help give you more freedom, and we'll talk about that in subsequent classes, then here's a schedule for you to follow. We've got the required Ignite classes again, previewing homes. How many of you are super familiar with how homes are built? Maybe Jordan works on homes. My parents were like avid investor and they would like rebuild properties. And I watched a home get built from the ground up. I was very young, but old enough to remember. And my parents have remodeled every home we've lived in. My brother's a contractor. I know how homes are built. So when I walk through a property, I know what looks wrong and I know what looks right. And I have that. Do you? Are you an expert on the product that you're selling? If you're not yet, this is an amazing tool for you. Every time you go out and preview a property, you can use this tool to mark everything. What's the list price? It will help you understand inventory. What goes for $500,000 in Citrus Heights? And what goes for $500,000 in Rio Linda? And what goes for $500,000? Can you even get a home for $500,000 in some neighborhoods? Right? When someone comes to you and says, I want a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,000 square foot home for $400,000. Does that excite you? Or does that make you pause? Right? So these are important things for you to know. What's standard in one neighborhood might not be standard in another neighborhood, and this will help you delineate that information. This is a resources job aid. So Keller Williams has a ton of, I'm giving you a ton of resources as a coach for Keller Williams, and this is all my stuff. Keller Williams has so much stuff on top of what we are going to provide to you. So if you have any questions about command, there's a resource here for you. If you have any ideas about command, like say that you go into command and you're like, this could be better. We love that feedback. And you can click on ideas.kw.com and you can go submit your idea. KW support is there to help. They're a help desk for business operations and technical support. KW Connect is an internet page. It's an intranet page where everyone puts their resources together. I'm going to tell you that being with Keller Williams is amazing in that we all share, and that is not a common thing amongst all brokerages. But Keller Williams, everyone's book of business is pretty open. We all believe in abundance and that there's nothing that you can steal from me, right? I want you to. We call it R&D, rip off and duplicate. So KW Connect is an amazing site. It's got a lot of information in there. You can get lost in it, but anything that you would need, there's everything in there. What kind of memberships you want to get into, profit share opportunities, growth resources, trainings, free, okay? My KW is where your intranet, website, market center information, business tools. When you're new, it's not so much something that you're going to use a lot, but if you get used to it from the beginning, you're going to learn how to use that system to your advantage when you need certain things, okay? Now on to the good stuff. If you're like, I need more command training, I've got command trainings. This is this sheet right here has links to 6 to 8 minute videos on every single thing that you can do in command. right? Let's go back to the toolkit. Escrow process. Need to know what the escrow process is. We've got a perfect 30-day escrow. Perfect 30-day escrow. If everything goes as planned, this is exactly the way order it will go in. I'm in escrow, now what? If you stumble into a contract and get yourself into an escrow, this is every step that you and your transaction coordinator will need to take in order to close the escrow. I like the last one. It's my favorite. Get paid. This is how you submit a commission demand if you need to do this. If you're using a transaction coordinator, a lot of this is handled for you, but it's important for you to know, right? You need to inspect what you expect. Script practice, script books. This elemental script book has every common objection that you could receive from a seller and buyers. And this is what I think a lot of agents feel. They're like, I don't know what to say. Or you get caught. Somebody says something like, I don't know. I don't want to get pre-approved until I find a house. What do you say? Do you know what to say? Well, it's in here, right? They're working with another agent. It's in here. All of it. I honestly believe that if you took 15 to 30 minutes every day and you practiced these objection handlers, you would feel so much more confident about going out and talking with buyers and sellers, because you would be like, oh, I know how to handle these things. So it's all available to you. Then the next thing we've got some lead generation assistance here. So we've got the lead generation model. We'll cover that. We've got marketing. So I've got an introduction letter that you can send out to everyone that you know, maybe everyone in your neighborhood. Maybe you want to email that out to everybody. It's completely up to you. I've got bio examples. People get stuck on their bios. They get stuck on, well, what am I supposed to say about myself? Here's some examples of bios. And let me tell you, it ain't about you. When you're out marketing, it's not about, look at me, look at me, look at how great I am. It's more about, here's what I'm going to do to help you. Here's how I show up as a professional for my clients. That's going to go way further. Prospecting. Here is a list, 100 days to 3 transactions. If you would like to be in 3 transactions in the next 100 days, here is an open house checklist of exactly how you need to throw an open house in order to succeed. Everybody should want this, especially if you've decided that open houses are going to be your way of building your database and getting now business. Because remember, people that went into an open house are like, yeah, I want to buy a house. So of course. We've got open house sign-in sheet. We've got another open house job aid. So if you combine the 2 checklists, you're going to be a dynamo. And then we also have some open house safety tips. You want to make sure that you're staying safe. We have an open house class that we will throw. We'll go through all of this. We'll explain it in detail. These are my favorite. Buyers. I'm sure all of you right now would love to go out and get a buyer. And you're probably feeling like, I don't really know what I would do. Have no fear. If you have this Ignite toolkit, all you have to do is go look at this email call or this document called Working with Buyers. Okay. And it explains to you, if you read through the whole thing, it explains to you every single step of what you need to do. It also gives you links directly to the document that you need to use in that moment. Is that helpful to have a step-by-step guide of what you need to do? And then links to the
helpful.
Yeah, right. So buyer consultation video. What does that look like? What do I say? What do I do? Well, there's a video of me hosting a buyer consultation. The questions that I ask around the needs analysis, they're in the toolkit. We even have smart plans. So remember in Command, when I talked about adding smart plans to your clients, these are automatic email campaigns that you can send out that you can give information. And I have one that I give to all of my buyers. When somebody says, I want to buy a house, I'm like, oh, okay, great. I'm going to put you into my database right now. And I'm going to send you some emails about the market and as well as the process of buying, just to give you a little bit of a background so that you can understand the process a little bit more. It cuts down on my education of clients. And I love to educate my clients, but you can spend a lot of time trying to educate them when you could just send them this smart plan. And if they read it, and I have a really good open rate on that too. Here's how you write an offer. There's a video right there that there's a link that you can click on to write an offer. If you need a pre-approval, here's the in-house lender. Set up automatic property alerts. Need to open a lockbox? I got a video right there showing you how to open a lockbox. It's everything, right? How do I run comps? Here's a video, learn how to run comps. And of course, call your coach. That's me. I have everything in here, including a buyer roadmap. I like to give this to my clients. I actually have an agent who I coached early on. She branded this document. It's a buyer roadmap, tells them everything that's going to happen, timeline. She branded it, and then she gives them a magnet. And whenever they meet with her, she hands this to them and says, put this on your fridge because you'll know where we're at based off of the activities that you see here. And she still does it to this day. I love that. Now we're going to have a subsequent class that again goes over how do I work a buyer all the way through. But if you have somebody right now, or you're like, I need to get a contract in the next week, here you go. This is the folder that you'll want to go to. It's even got a checklist to preparing an offer, a checklist to writing an offer. Offer email template. It's got a lot in here. Now, I don't want you to go out on your own and think, I got to figure it out. No, don't waste time trying to figure it out. Just call me and we'll work on this together. But all of this resource is here for you. Sellers, same bit. I have a working with sellers. Sign designs, sign printing, sign storage, professional photographer. How do you get a lockbox? How do you do a listing agreement? How do you pull comparable sales? How do I create a listing packet? P.S. I have an example of my listing packet in here for you to copy. Most of it I got for free from that tutorial. It's all through the MLS. It's very simple. You've got a listing, now what? Here is a checklist of every single thing that you need to do when you get a listing. All of it. Checklist for reviewing offers, pre-listing questionnaire, pre-listing presentation, room walkthrough, room survey. And then finally, we've got goals and tracking. We'll go over this as well when we talk about how to set goals. But we've got tracking forms. Who are you talking to? How many contacts did you make? How many emails did you send? We've got a 411, which is a business plan. We'll go over that as well. 66-day challenge. They say that if you want to build a habit, you can do, if you do it every day for 66 days, it will become ingrained in you. I like this too. A plan for your day. Do you plan your days or does your day plan you? Are you thinking about your day before you go out into the world and go forth? And if you're not, how many things do you do in your day that get you closer to your goals? I know that before I planned my day and before I made a concerted effort and a conscious effort to plan what I was going to do the next week, the week following, every day, sometimes my goals would get farther and farther and farther, just one day away every day. It's just one day farther away from me. But when you can plan your day and you can say, no matter what, this morning, I'm calling my 10 people. I'm going to do my lead generation. If you can set that intention and that goal and then plan your day around it, how much more closer would you be to your goals in the next 90 days? So this toolkit, by the way, is all of Ignite. So I'm going to go through each process of how I use these to run my business. How do I use these to service my clients? Any questions about anything that we went over in this? Okay, now I'm going to reiterate, if you have not received an email that gives you access to this, I need you to reach out to me because you're going to have a really hard time if you don't have access to these tools, okay? Okay. So we've got about 10 minutes and I want to share with you what are the habits that you need to be completing every day to make sure that, we talked about getting you into a deal in the next 30 days, right? I want to see you guys making money as soon as possible in this business. So what do you need to be doing? And I went through a lot of this and kind of mushed 2 classes together, and that's why I went over a little bit. So let's skip all the way back. There it is. Okay. These are going to be your daily success habits. So remember, we looked at the class and it's like in the beginning, your goal is to get an appointment. And we're hoping that you're going to get into contract by the end of it. So 10 contacts added daily to your database. Let's talk about this. Mayella has 1,100 contacts. Mayella is going to make $690,000 in the next year. We're all going to be very proud of Mayella. In fact, we're going to ask her to take us to dinner or something. Drinks on Mayella, okay? So does Mayella necessarily need to add contacts to her database just yet? Is there an opportunity here for her to take some of that time and instead contact the people in her database, right? So I want you to think about your business. Where are you at in your business? And which of these are going to be the best use of your time? If you haven't reached out to anyone in your database at all, adding people to it is not necessarily going to be the best use of your time. Just sitting doing data entry. This is what I'm talking about. Again, you got to make these phone calls. We know the elephant in the room. It gets awkward. It gets a little scary. Sometimes we default to the easiest thing for us to do. And we say, oh, I'm going to add 10 contacts to my database. So I'm going to go find 10 people somewhere else to add them in. Okay. Data entry will never be as important as the lead generation itself. Make the phone call. I know that if you call 10 people today and you tell them that you're in the real estate business and you're happy to help anybody that they might know who's looking to get into a house in the next year or at any time, you're probably going to add people to your database because somebody's going to say, you know what? My cousin was talking about buying a house. So what I would suggest is make the conversations your number one. Now, if you have 0 people in your database, then call me. We need to come up with a plan for you to go out and find them. And I'm pretty sure that you probably have more than 0, right? So 10 conversations a day. I'm on a kick right now that before Thanksgiving, I have to have 120 contacts. And that's because I need to make 20 contacts a day. And I'm committed to this, whether I get it done during my work hours or I have to do it after work. If I miss a day, that means I got to make 40 the next day. Does this make sense? I'm like, I am committed. Oh, Kylan has a question.
Hey, Amy, so what exactly, can you give me an example on how you're getting those 10 contacts a day or a week?
It's 10 contacts a day. How am I getting them? Do you mean new contacts or do you mean conversations?
New contacts. So like, what are you doing? Like, can you give me like an example of like, what are certain things you do?
Absolutely. So when I was brand new into the business, I was doing open houses every weekend. That was really important to me. I needed to be doing open houses. I went out into the world. I called my sphere. No joke. You could probably add 10 people to your database if you called 10 people and asked them if they knew anybody that's looking to buy and sell real estate. You would probably be able to do that. And then if you only got 4 or you only got 3, then either call more people or go out into the world and meet new people. I'm like real estate all the time, not in an annoying way, but I just like, if I go to the grocery store and they ask me how I'm doing real estate. So like I did this through Target. She asked me, what are you doing today? And I'll be honest, you guys, I might lie. I might not have anything real estate related to do that day, but I say I do because it's always an opportunity for me. And what's the worst that's going to happen? They ignore it and they're like, yeah, whatever, you know? So I just always say like, oh, I think I need to show some property later, or I'm going to teach a real estate class, something like that, right? You could say, oh, I'm going to take a real estate class later. Mayela, you had a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to share that I did an open house on Saturday for one of the realtors, Alicia. And when I was putting the signs, there was like a car sales business. And I asked the owner, I said, okay, if I put the sign right here in the front, he's like, yeah. So when I picked it up, I said, here's my business card, thank you. And then he's like, oh, you know what? And then we started the conversation. And actually he's looking for an investment house. And I just sent him some properties 2 days ago.
Perfect. That's how you do it. You just got to be open and ready to connect. So remember the Ford script. My favorite question ever in the entire world is, what kind of fun plans do you have today or this weekend? Usually I say this weekend. That's a great way for you to connect with anybody. The bank teller, people standing in line. I'm the kind of person that people talk to when they stand in line, and I don't always want to talk, but people love to talk to me. So I just, hey, how you doing? Got any fun plans this weekend? And I just try to do that. Somebody had their hand raised. Jenny,
I want to share something today.
please do.
Kylan and I actually are at SAR today, and I was already thinking of going to the store and buy planner. It always helps, but they actually had the 2023 planner out already. So I bought one. And what I love about it is that it tells you, like, you can put down your calls, things to do, and expenses.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's like, if for new agents that, I just want to share. I've been in business before, so planner is always my best friend.
I love it. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jenny. That's awesome. I appreciate you. Yeah, I think that if you don't plan to succeed, you plan to fail. If you don't have a plan, right? And that's what a lot of people get in this business, and they're like, I want the freedom, and I want to own my own business, and I want to be financially abundant. Sometimes those things don't always align the way we think they will. But I'll tell you, if you can get disciplined on lead generation every day, you will have all the freedom you need. You'll have all the resources, the money, and the freedom. So just get disciplined about that one thing, and you'll be able to rock it out in this business. Okay, I have one last question for everybody because I have to make 20 contacts today, and I'm short. So I'm asking everybody, I need everybody to answer me. I don't care if it's one at a time or all together. Does anybody here know anybody that's looking to get into the real estate business, or an agent that's at a brokerage that might be looking for a change? I got to hear it from all of you because I need my full 11 contacts.
I do.
You do? Who's that?
Yeah.
Mayela? Cool.
Yes.
Can you text me their number? I would love to talk with them.
Will do.
Thank you very much. All right, I got one. Thank you. Who's next? Who's gonna help me?
Me.
Yes, Kokoro. What's up, girl? You got one?
Yeah, well, my sister.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Is she gonna sign up with us already?
Yvette, I'm hoping before the year ends, yes.
Oh, well then, yes, I'm gonna reach out to her. Yeah, we're gonna tip that scale over the end, and we're gonna put her in your downline. By the way,
Okay.
everybody, anybody that you refer to me, I put your name down as their referral, and I put them into your downline. And you may not know about this yet, but we're a profitable business, and we give 48% of our profits back to the agents that help us grow. So if you can give me a name, I can help you do that. I don't take the credit, I give it away. Anybody else? Okay, can I get all the no's? Can I get the no's? No, not today, but you'll think about me, right?
I'll think about it, Amy.
You'll think about it. Thank you. You'll think
Keep
about
it
it.
in
Thank
mind.
you.
Same here, Amy.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much. I want you to think about me, and I'll think about you too. If I find any opportunities where I think you guys are going to be able to make money, where I think you guys are going to have opportunities for open houses, opportunities to learn, if I know of any classes that I think are going to benefit you guys, I'm going to be there for you. And I promise to you, if you call me, I will answer you I will answer you. I'm available to all my coaching students 7 days a week. I do like to cut off right around 7 o'clock only because I want to spend time with my family. But if there's an emergency and you're like stressing, just reach out to me. I promise you I'll be there for you. But if you can get to me before 7, that would be appreciated.